The Euphrates has been the cradle of civilization in West Asia. The river has been the lifeline for millions in Iraq and Syria.
The Euphrates River, long considered one of the cradles of civilization, has finally dried up in certain key stretches after years of dwindling flow, mismanagement, and worsening climate conditions. The desiccation of this ancient waterway has exposed something that had until now been hidden beneath its muddy depths, something that has ignited awe, confusion, and deep curiosity among archaeologists, religious scholars, and everyday observers alike. What has emerged from the dried riverbed is not just geological or archaeological, it's something laden with layers of cultural, religious, and historical implications. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. As the once mighty river receded to a trickle, villagers and fishermen along its banks began to report strange stone formations and unnatural symmetrical structures poking out from the cracked earth. Satellite imagery and drone footage confirmed these accounts, revealing that what had emerged from the sediment was far from a natural formation. Embedded into the riverbed was a series of massive stone-cut chambers, resembling a temple complex or ancient fortress that had been completely hidden from human sight for untold centuries. These structures aren't just old, they appear eerily well-preserved, as though protected by the silt and sediment of the Euphrates over millennia. Walls carved with intricate reliefs, massive archways leading into dark yawning halls, and stone platforms resembling altars or thrones. Each detail is remarkably intact. The sheer scale of the complex suggests it was of great significance. While initial estimates are cautious, researchers believe parts of the structure could date back to the Bronze Age or even earlier. However, the mystery is not just how old it is, but why such a vast structure, unknown in the annals of archaeology, was never documented, mentioned, or even speculated about in ancient texts that otherwise chronicle every major civilization in Mesopotamia. What makes this discovery even more captivating is the iconography that decorates many of the walls and pillars inside the exposed ruins. Symbols unfamiliar to both Mesopotamian and Assyrian traditions seem to mingle with more familiar cuneiform writings, as if suggesting an intersection of cultures or the presence of a completely unknown society. Carvings depict creatures that are part man, part beast, some with wings, others with eyes that appear overly accentuated, almost exaggerated. These are not just stylistic quirks, they appear deliberate and specific, conveying a kind of reverence or warning. Figures are often shown kneeling before these creatures, while others are shown fleeing or shielding their eyes. What narrative these images communicate is still unclear, but their intensity is hard to ignore. Just adjacent to these murals, a chamber unlike any other in the complex has drawn special attention. Perfectly circular and domed, it seems to have been at the heart of the entire structure. Inside is a single elevated stone seat, not ornate but commanding. Surrounding it are concentric rings carved into the floor, almost like a map or calendar. But what truly stirs the imagination is what was found lying at the base of the seat, a large stone-bound object resembling a sealed tablet or codex. Covered in a language still undeciphered, this object may hold the key to understanding the purpose of the entire complex. It is as if the river, drying up after centuries of flowing secrecy, chose this precise moment in time to reveal a truth locked away beneath the currents. The timing of the Euphrates drying up is in itself strange. The river has been in decline for decades, no doubt. Turkey's damming of the upstream regions, combined with Syrian conflict-driven mismanagement, has led to reduced flows. Climate change has intensified droughts throughout the region, causing water levels to plummet. Yet the suddenness with which large stretches of the riverbed were exposed, within days, took locals and officials by surprise. One week, the river was knee-deep in places, and the next, vast areas were dry enough to walk across. This rapid shift has led some to speculate whether natural causes alone were at play. With the river's retreat came more than just architecture. Scattered throughout the area were artifacts that raise even more questions. Metallic tools of unknown composition, clay jars sealed with a black tar-like substance that has not degraded over time, and figurines of humans with elongated heads and exaggerated spinal ridges, all point to a civilization whose physiological and cultural traits remain a mystery. None of these artifacts conform to known ancient Near Eastern traditions, and while some scientists suggest the figurines could represent mythological beliefs or artistic flourishes, others aren't so quick to dismiss the possibility of an entirely different lineage of people now lost to history, having thrived here long ago. The Euphrates has always been a river weighted with history, flowing through lands rich in religious significance. Its drying up is seen by many not just as an environmental catastrophe, but as a fulfillment of long-standing prophecies. While the exploration of this phenomenon must be grounded in evidence, the synchronicity between natural decay and hidden revelations stirs something deep in human consciousness. Entire communities who have lived along the river for generations have begun holding vigils and rituals beside the newly exposed ruins, unsure whether to celebrate this uncovering or fear it. Not far from the original site, additional ruins have begun surfacing. Smaller structures, possibly administrative buildings or homes, indicate that the area may have been part of a much larger settlement. Unlike the central complex, these are more degraded, having borne the brunt of centuries of erosion. However, even these ruins have their own surprises. One room contained what appeared to be dozens of clay tablets arranged in a grid pattern, perhaps a record-keeping system, a library, or even a form of ceremonial archive. The fact that these tablets were untouched by looters or decay speaks to how effectively the Euphrates had shielded them all this time. The emotional gravity of this discovery is impossible to ignore. For archaeologists who have dedicated lifetimes to understanding Mesopotamian history, this moment is both exhilarating and humbling. For locals, it's a collision of faith, memory, and uncertainty. And for the wider world, it's a stark reminder that the past is never truly buried. It waits, patient beneath the surface, for the right moment to return. The Euphrates has offered up a fragment of time preserved in silt, demanding to be studied, understood, and reckoned with. Environmental scientists are now working alongside historians and archaeologists, as the drying river also exposes ecological data embedded in the sediment. Pollen analysis, microfossils, and mineral compositions can help reconstruct not only ancient climates, but also the agricultural and economic systems that may have supported the lost civilization. Some researchers believe the ecosystem surrounding this complex may have been deliberately altered by its inhabitants. They point to strange irrigation channels and canal-like structures leading into and out of the central ruins, suggesting advanced water engineering. There's a strange silence that hangs over the area now. Once alive with the sounds of flowing water, buzzing insects, and the hum of life, it has become still. The exposed stone drinks in the sun. Dust settles on symbols unseen for generations. Scientists kneel with brushes and drones hover with precision cameras, but no one speaks above a whisper. There's a collective sense that disturbing this place too hastily would not only be irresponsible but irreverent. The discovery has led to a surge of interest from around the globe. Scholars are rushing to gain access, while governments are struggling to balance preservation with security. Rumors of artifacts being stolen or smuggled have begun to circulate, prompting increased patrols and site fencing. Yet despite these challenges, the thirst for understanding remains unquenched. Every day that passes uncovers something new, a corridor leading deeper into the ground, a buried altar covered in inscriptions, or fragments of what may have been musical instruments, weapons, or ceremonial items. The Euphrates retreat has not merely revealed stone and clay, it has reopened questions that humanity thought were already answered. Who were the people who built this place? Why here, beneath a river that would eventually swallow it whole? And why does their architecture, art, and writing defy easy classification? For all the tools modern science brings, some answers continue to evade definition, lying just out of reach beneath layers of symbolism, myth, and history. But the implications go further. This discovery challenges the very narrative of how civilization spread through the Fertile Crescent. If a sophisticated society existed here before or alongside the Sumerians and Akkadians, it would mean rethinking timelines, cultural exchange, and perhaps even the origin points of religious and philosophical thought. There's something primal about seeing architecture rise out of the earth, dust-covered yet deliberate, stubbornly asserting that memory is not confined to books or museums. It lives in stone, waiting for rivers to die. Even as the scientific community unravels this mystery, the drying of the Euphrates continues. The river that once fed empires has shriveled into disconnected pools. Its vanishing has stirred not only memories, but forebodings. To many, the appearance of the ruins beneath its bed is a revelation. A message, perhaps, that the Earth itself remembers what humans forget. And whether the site turns out to be a missing chapter in human history or something far stranger, its emergence marks a turning point in how the past engages with the present. Each new chamber revealed suggests layers upon layers of planning and meaning. It will speak of time, patience, and the strange way truth emerges slowly from beneath the surface when the world is ready to see it. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on what they found now that the Euphrates River dried? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.